Hi everyone, I'm Mike Ingleby, founder of Trango Engineering. Welcome to the real-world guide to hardware design. My goal with this course is to help save you time, energy, and money on your hardware designs. In the years since I've graduated college, I've learned so much more than what was taught to me there. I've also made my share of mistakes. I hope to share with you some of what I know now. This course isn't to teach you how to be an engineer, nor is it an introduction to circuit design. My goal is to show you how you can be better at what you do in the real world. I'm going to assume that you have some familiarity with basic circuits. Designing hardware is more than designing a circuit and laying out a board. You'll need to think about the mechanical design, the operating environment which the circuit lives in, manufacturing, assembly, testing, and programming. All these factors will influence your design. Sometimes your design can be released as just a plain circuit board, but more than likely, it'll be in some sort of enclosure. The mechanical constraints will heavily influence your design early on. For example, is it made of aluminum or steel? If so, then you need to consider grounding the enclosure to ensure that it doesn't act as an antenna. Is your enclosure long and narrow? How thick is your enclosure? All these factors can potentially limit the component selection. Thinking about manufacturing early is helpful. Are all your parts available in tape and reel for assembly on a pick-and-place machine? Are there special handling instructions for some of those components? Some components are extra sensitive to vibrations and can actually be damaged when you split the boards along a V-score. How are you going to perform hardware validation? When your design comes off the assembly line, you want to make sure that it works. The last thing you want is a defective board getting into your customer's hands. Are you going to have a factory test mode built into your firmware? How does each sensor get tested? If you have a cell modem, do you have a microcell within the factory that you expect it to call into? If you have a compass, do you rotate the board in a magnetic field to test it? How do you calibrate the clock frequency to ensure that your Bluetooth chip is operating at its best? As you can see, there's a lot more to hardware design than your circuit and laying out a board. We'll discuss some best practices for circuit design and board layout, but we'll also cover a lot of the other stuff that I just mentioned. Please feel free to use the forum to ask questions.